know you guys have some questions. I think we've all had some time to cool down a little bit. So I'm assuming we all know what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about how the Rev did what the Rev said he was going to do since day one. And that was to come in here and be the one that's on the other side of the gate for Fight Underground. And I think at the end when it's all said, matter of fact, I know when it's all said and done, that's exactly the message that I was able to physically preach when I left out of that Fight Underground ring.
Let's get a question from Bubba Brewer.
Rev, I am so excited that you got your first historic victory. I'm all about the Rev. But now, what are you going to do? Because I feel that you can carry this company.
Well, that's an honor, and once again, I want to say thank you very much for your veteranship, and best is in the business just like anyone else that's here under the council. I can say this one thing: it doesn't matter what is next, because anything that's put in front of me, best believe I'm going to eat it alive. And make no mistake about it, that this is not a fairy tale. I understand that I capitalized and I got that first win at Fight Underground, but I also understand the realism of it is that just like I got that win, there are multiple others that are lining up and just as hungry as AJ Alexander. They want a shot, and now that target is even bigger. So at the end, when it's all said and done, I welcome any challenge. I welcome any competitor, and I welcome anyone that thinks that they are brave and audacious enough to step into the ring with the savior of professional wrestling. So who's next? That's not my decision. That's your decision. That's the fans' decision. That's Paul Atlas' decision. That is the council's decision. But I'm not going to shy away from any challenge that you guys throw at me.
Speaking of Paul Atlas, he's got the next question.
Well, Rev, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you on the very first win in Fight Underground. I personally do not share my council member Bubba Brewer's high elation of the Rev. As I've stated before, I know you've come a long way, but you still have not, in my mind, proven to me that you are just yet the one to carry the banner. So what do you think you can do to move forward from here and prove that point?
Let me answer your question with a question, Mr. Atlas. You said multiple times on the Facebook Live on Fight Underground's page and on IndyWrestling.us that you see things in the Rev. You've seen me approve. I've been on the commentary table at other federations with you, and you asked me one question. You said, I have to know, is there some steak with that sizzle? Let me ask you a question, Mr. Atlas. Do you like A1 sauce? Do you like Worcestershire? What is your flavor? What is your preference? Medium, well, rare? Because it seems like no matter what the Rev brings to the table, you always want to find something and respectfully do. But let's look at the realism of this. The next step is to dominate like I did in that first match. Mr. Atlas, you have more power than anyone else that's on the Fight Council. You all talk, but at the end, you have the final decision who can stay. Everyone earns their spot. And I consider that challenge well welcomed each and every time I show up at a Fight Underground event. So what's next? How do I keep going from there? Let's just say, expect the unexpected.
Let's wrap up with a question from Boomer Payne.
First of all, Rev, congratulations, 1-0 record here in Fight Underground. My question is, now that you have that first victory, and how are you going to be able to keep the hunger and desire, because now you're sitting at 1-0? What inside of you is going to keep that hunger and desire to keep climbing the ladder until you are the number one man in this promotion?
When I look at it, that number one desire is one word: family. Many people have them. Many people's family is broken. Mine is well put together. And I'm a man of that household. I'm a man for my son. I'm a man for my family. So when it comes down to it, while some of these guys want to come in here, they want to be a professional wrestler, this is what I eat, sleep, drink, and breathe 24/7, 365. So when it comes down to it, guess what? The more wins I get, the higher the paycheck gets, the higher the net worth gets. And that just means more food on my family's back, more food on the table, more clothes on their back, and a bigger household for it. So how do I keep that hunger alive? Ohana, it's family. I appreciate you guys' time.
Your thoughts are good. A very provocative press conference. It seems like the Rev has some believers and some non-believers. When we talk about the first non-believer, I say the first non-believer is my own so-called quote-unquote brother. Now, one thing the fight council failed to mention, because I feel they knew to understand, I probably couldn't finish the press conference, but the smack that AJ Alexander gave me across the face after that match, after I extended my hand to him, best man won, he smacks me in the face. So I consider the first unbeliever being AJ Alexander, but best believe that there are other guinea pigs I know will follow along the lines of AJ, and they feel like this is hype. This is far from hype. You see the car that I drove in there. That's not make-believe. That's paid off by cash. From wrestling money. You see the suit, the custom-made suit, paid off by cash. By wrestling money. The alligator shoes, two-tone, snake skin, paid off by cash. Wrestling money. None of this is hype. And when it comes down to it, I'm still the savior that's trying to pull everybody up from being underground.
This is the post-fight press conference for AJ Alexander. We have Paul Atlas, Boomer Payne, and Bubba Brewer of the Fight Council here talking about AJ Alexander, a tough loss to the Reverend Ron Hunt.
Yeah, it was a tough loss, but I felt like I really made a statement today when I was able to slap Rev square across his face and step out of his shadow and create my own spotlight.
We have Boomer Payne with a question.
AJ, you're talking about stepping out of Ron Hunt's shadow, yet you lost. I mean, you seem like you had a really good game plan going in. You fell a little bit short. How do you justify saying that you stepped outside his shadow?
I felt like I really was able to separate myself from Rev. But it was more of just kind of separating myself from the Jesus Club, trying to separate myself from what he's done and what he's been able to do here in the Pittsburgh area and make my own path off of his.
Next question is from Bubba Brewer.
AJ, do you think your inexperience cost you that match against the Rev? And how are you going to now pursue a win in Fight Underground?
Do I think my experience cost me the match? No. I think what really happened was me and Rev know each other so well, in and out, traveling the roads, up and down, doing this, that, and the other, teaming up here, facing each other there, just being against each other so much and learning so much about one person. It was more of just, I made one slight mistake and he was able to take over. And how do I expect to get a win from here? I just have to impress myself, impress the Fight Council, and make sure I have another shot here.
Let's wrap this up with a question from Paul Atlas.
So let's talk about that a little bit, AJ. You claim that you had the match in hand. At what point did you think that to go to such an unpredictable, unsafe, high-risk type maneuver was going to get you that first all-important victory? I mean, this was the very first fight ever in Fight Underground.
What I had planned was if I could do that one big move, that one move that will cement myself here in Fight Underground, I would have impressed myself. I would have impressed the Fight Council. I would have impressed Rev. I would have impressed Quinn Magnum. I would have impressed so many people while also getting that victory, but it just didn't work out in my favor. But if that's all the questions, then I'm going to go ahead and get out of here.